already in the Dayton area that's without power. We just reported just moments ago about what was going on with that, and that there was some really torrential rain and heavy rain coming through the Dayton area, and so that is definitely causing some problems there. Lots of those bright colors, the reds and the yellows and the lightning strikes that we're noticing there in Dayton and now creeping into the Athens area. It's kind of what we have said before. If you've been a part of the last 3 or 4 storm systems that's come through our area, it's almost like it does a little bit, if you can imagine in a larger scope, the letter C. It seems to be south around the Chickamauga, Fort Oglethorpe area. You see a storm comes through that area, and then Athens and Dayton and Loudon, and then the Chattanooga and Ottawa and that area. It kind of encompasses the inner part of the sea, and it kind of just goes in a spread like that. And that's kind of what we're seeing again this afternoon, Austin. And we've seen this a couple of times before for Bradley County and maybe Ottawa and stuff like that. It seems like a big bulk of the storms are north, just a little bit north in the Athens area. And then on the south side, it seems to kind of come back and circle around Chickamauga and those areas. Dalton always seems to be getting hit with that. But then in that sweet spot, Cleveland and those areas, it seems to get a little bit thinner of that.
Yes, yeah. So and the Chattanooga weather.
Hey,
crew.
Ryan Felton, can you help us for a little bit too as well? I was going to get Ryan. Will you look up power outages for us and kind of come back and report on that, please?
Our Chattanooga weather crews, they always talk about that Cumberland Plateau, that Monteagle area there, how it usually tends to break up storms. So generally, any of our storms come from that southwest area that come up from the south, which it looks like there's a few forming there down in Georgia around Fort Oglethorpe that's going to come up into Cleveland here in a few minutes. But yeah, there's always that break right there around Monteagle and around that area. But there's plenty of storms up top. There's plenty of lightning with these storms. Yeah. I know I've said that a couple of times, but we're sitting here watching the real-time lightning on there. And so, but you can kind of see a little bit of the wind shear with the storm up to the north of us, kind of how it's pressing up. So there's a lot of winds kind of pushing on that, and I think it's going to come through pretty strong. It may not last for a whole lot of time, but it's going to come through pretty stout.
Yeah, the area that's getting hit the hardest is definitely that Dayton, Dunlap. We talked about that earlier, that it would be here about 1:30, 1:40, and boy, they didn't miss that one because it's been there probably about 15, 20 minutes running through that area. Soddy Daisy getting hit pretty good right now. But again, Cleveland, it's just that little circle effect. It's like when it gets close to us, it kind of dips down, then it dips right back up, and that part of Athens and Etowah and Sweetwater, Spring City, Lenoir City, those are the areas we heard those weather alerts come through a little bit ago for those areas north of us. And then just a few minutes ago, we got the latest there. So that is, again, if we're ready we ready to go live on Mix TV as well?
Yeah, we are live on Mix
TV,
yeah.
All right, so now we're live on MixTV.tv. We're also live on all 3 of our stations here of Mix 104.1, Talk 101.3, The Buzz, and also Fiesta 99.1 as we're breaking in here. Kind of going to do a wraparound. We're going to get all of our people involved as far as what we can do around here. So we're going to get Ryan Felton in, part of the broadcast teams here with us at WCLE. Now, Ryan, I know earlier I just saw on TV a moment ago that Dayton was already about 1,000 homes without power there.
Right.
So you got any updates you can give us on power outages?
As of right now, just looking at Cleveland Utilities' outage website that they use for tracking, they have no active outages.
Okay.
And I can't find information currently on Ocoee, but I think I can have one more place I'm going to check for that.
Okay.
But as it looks right now, we're okay in county at least.
Okay, right here in Cleveland. Now we'll check Volunteer Electric as well. And then, of course, the one that we were getting the reports on was Dayton, which we know we have people that listen in the Dayton communities up in that area, the Pikeville area, and they were reporting about 1,000 homes are without power. Now, the good thing that we can tell you as we're live on MixTV.tv is that these storms, it is still summertime. Think about that. Right now, your current Simply Bank temperature, 87 degrees. Most of the time, Austin, when these storms, even though severe, this time of the year, they kind of pack a punch, but they move quickly.
Yes, they do. So it's that typical summertime mix, where it's really nice and warm in the afternoon, and you got a pressure system moving through. So that's what's happening here. But they will, there'll be a lot of lightning. There'll be some thunder with it and some heavy downpours. But then it'll kind of sweep on through here. So I don't think it'll last a whole lot long. We'll definitely have an evening. The sun will come back out later this evening.
Well, we're going to just go back and revisit now that we're on all the platforms of Mix 104.1 and MixTV.tv, Talk 101.3 The Buzz, and Fiesta 99.1. You're listening to severe weather coverage brought to you by our friends at Insurance Incorporated. Also, want to get a quick message in here from our friends from McKay Southern. McKay Southern, never lose power again. Luke Dalton and his staff there at McKay Southern offer the Generac systems for the generators and things that can keep your house on no matter when the power goes out for whatever the length is, because they install these, they service these, and they'll be happy to help you get a Generac system at your home. And basically, you could get these systems for about $160 a month is what they're telling us there at McKay Southern. And Luke Dalton, when we met with him a few weeks back for a grand opening. But McKay Southern, MCCAY Southern.com is the website. Again, they like to say never lose power again with McKay Southern. Check it out, get a Generac system, and as storms continue to roll through, no matter what part of the year it is, summer, winter, fall, they will be there and keep the lights on in about 15 seconds of a power outage. With one of those Generac home systems, you will have your power restored. Think about your medical and other things that goes on during a power outage. Never have to worry about that again with McKay Southern. All right, Austin, let's go back. If you don't care, I'm going to let you, do you have that National Weather Service, the latest severe thunderstorm warning that you can recalculate and read for us there from there?
Yes, so there's a severe thunderstorm warning for this area till 2:30. It covers the Bradley County, Loudoun County, Sequatchie, Meigs, northern Polk County, McMinn County, Blount County, some of those other areas that are to the north of us, and actually includes northeastern Hamilton County also. So we're looking at it's moving about 50 miles per hour, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts with nickel-sized hail is expected. Of course, you can expect some damage to the roof, sidings, trees, stuff like that. Could cause some power outages if some of those trees come down. That's a little bit weaker. And so as it moves across Interstate 75, it kind of comes into our area. That's kind of where it's moving into right now. The biggest threat right now, I guess, is probably hail size. We were talking earlier, there is a tornado watch out for our area until 7 o'clock. There doesn't look like to be any activity as far as tornadoes right now with any of these storms north to south, but we are keeping an eye on that. So.
All right, Ryan Felton in the studio with us this afternoon as we tag team our coverage on the radio and also MixTV.tv. Ryan, I know that you were trying to keep an eye on the different power sources of Cleveland Utilities, Volunteer Electric, and those type places. Has anybody reported any? I know the storms are not here yet, but those places sometimes, I know the Volunteer Electric services some of those outlying communities as well.
So I'm glad you mentioned Volunteer. They actually have outages currently in 12 counties.
Okay.
They have an outage in Bradley County. It is only three individual households. It's not too terribly significant. There are over 7,000 households in Cumberland County that are on Volunteer that are out of power right now, and almost 5,600 in Ray County.
Okay.
They have I want to say the total was in the, let's go, I think 14 to 15,000 range across their whole service area that of Volunteer they're out, but most of them are not in Bradley County.
All right, so that is something, I guess the reason I alluded to that is because, if those counties, Ray County and some of the other ones that you're mentioning is already having power outages, then you can kind of possibly anticipate that some of the severities of those storms could touch some of the other communities, especially the Athens area, the Etowah area, Sweetwater, some of those areas that we still broadcast to. And, of course, MixTV.tv, you can do that anywhere around the world, especially with the app as well. So we just want to make sure that people in those areas let you know we're here for you as well. and we'll continue to report. You got anything else?
McMinn has a very small number of outages. I think it's less than 100, but Meigs is almost 3,000.
Meigs County.
Already,
okay.
yeah, just on volunteers.
So there we go. There's some of those outlying communities, Austin, that we like to keep up with.
Yes.
We consider them part of the WCLE family.
Absolutely.
We do not ever want to leave them out of anything, whatever the coverage may be. So we'll continue to track that as well. The thing that I guess if you can find, helpful is that we are Local 3's partner. Local 3 News is our partner, and we always kind of keep up with them. The good thing about it is that they are on regular programming right now. So what does that mean? That means that there is no reason for anyone to get extremely concerned at this particular second because they do what they call wall-to-wall coverage once things work out. I mean, of course, radio is different than TV. Radio, we're playing music, playing commercials. We're live in a matter of a second. TV, they have other commitments with programming and things like that. So unless it's a situation to where they feel they need to break in on the air, Austin, that being a part of your previous life, being the TV,
yes,
it has to be a little bit more severe for the TV to break in on their regular programming just to do updates of weather.
Yes, generally they won't come on air unless there's a tornado warning issued for the area of Hamilton County, Bradley County. Generally, those areas during the day you won't see them pop on. So, or unless there's like a really strong, severe thunderstorm warning. So, as of right now, it looks like they're in regular programming. So that's a good sign.
Yeah, that's a good sign. You always look for something positive when you're trying to do your coverage and stuff like that. Mixed TV audience, you've got the app, not the app, but actually an image up there of what the storms look like. Boy, there's a lot of red there, isn't there, Austin?
There is, and that's kind of a projection of the future as it moves out of here. But that just really shows the strong rain spots that are with this storm. So there's really some points to where there's going to be some heavy downpours as they move across the area.
All right. Also, we're looking for just any time now is for Adam Lewis, the public information officer with the Cleveland Bradley County EMA. They just finished up with a conference call, I'm sure, with Morristown and the Weather Center out there and other EMA directors and things across the state. We're waiting to hear from him, see what that was like a little bit earlier. The thing that I guess is that we're not seeing any rain here, but from what I've seen on some of these TDOT cameras that I pulled up, boy, when the rain comes, it comes pretty fast. So it's one of those things, Austin, you said to make sure to kind of be in your area of safety as you need to be kind of off the roads there for just a little bit.
Yes, always be aware of what's taking place, what's coming in your area. So if you don't have to travel right now, then I would say just hold off. Because as this rain moves through, it'll make it a little bit challenging, especially on the faster roads, the interstates and the highways, and even moving through town in the middle of town here.
I'm checking out some other images as we are looking at TDOT, which gives us some images of cameras. As I'm looking downtown at ML King Boulevard just a moment ago, and there is rain there. So not getting a full image, but before that image popped up, I definitely saw some rain that's on the screen. So downtown Chattanooga, it appears that there's probably rain in that area already. So that means we're not going to be too far away from getting that. Let's oh my goodness, let's see. Yeah, there is Germantown Road in Chattanooga. Also, don't know if you could pull that up on your image there, but heavy downpours just about 20-25 miles down the road here. There at I-24 and Germantown Road. Heavy downpours. Looks like it's continuously dark clouds there. So it has made its way into Chattanooga. And let's see here. Let's go maybe take another image look here as we get closer to the East Ridge area. This is going to be the 24-75 split, and lots of rain falling there as well. As looks like you can definitely see almost as when you were a kid and you were riding the bike and you had, I called them rooster tails, where the tires throwing that up. Right. Well, there's a lot of rooster tails from cars. Austin likes my analogy.
You have some weird phrases over there right now.
But
I get it though.
Yeah, but I get it. That's the best way to explain it. Make it simple that people understand what you're talking about.
Sure.
But yeah, there's lots of cars throwing up those rooster tails. There at the 75-24 junction as I'm seeing that right now. Traffic is moving, though, so that's a good thing. Let's see if we can get another image as I'm going to come on up here towards a little bit more towards the Ottawa area. And this is going to be at Franks Road, which is about mile marker 4 on 75. Rain already hitting there. So we definitely are just, probably minutes away from getting some rain in here. All right, I believe we got Adam Lewis that's going to be with us right now, joining us on mixtv.tv and also here on the platforms of the radio stations of WCLE. Adam Lewis, Public Information Officer for the Cleveland Bradley EMA, and I think he just got out of an important meeting. So, Adam, we're going to turn things over to you. So tell us the latest, if you don't mind, sir.
Hey, Dwayne. I know you all have been keeping an eye on things and announcing the warnings that are in place. Wanted to let you know that we are going to be opening the storm-ready shelters now, actually, for the public. So those will be up and operational here within the next few minutes. If people feel the need to move from their homes, they can shelter in place at any of these 4 shelters that are going to be available here momentarily. Those are located, one at Walker Valley High School is a designated storm shelter. There's also a shelter in the Hopewell area, just behind Hopewell School at the fire station there. And hang on just a moment, Dwayne.
I've got those for you if you'd like for me to read those off. Georgetown Road,
mind, yes.
Georgetown Road, Fire Station 13, which is at 5345 Georgetown Road. Then also Dalton Pike at Fire Station 12, which is located at 2015 New Street. And then Menace Road, Fire Station 11 at 365 Menace Road. And then you mentioned Walker Valley there at 750 Lauderdale Memorial Highway. So those 4 are open now is what you're saying, right, Adam?
Yes, they'll be opening up here in the next few moments. There are SROs and other officials that are moving into place now to open up those facilities. I was getting some new information. The severe thunderstorm warning will likely be extended across all of Bradley County here shortly. The main cell that we're watching is coming from Hamilton County, traveling almost due east at this point. There have been reports of hail and damaging winds already confirmed. There were several reports of 70-plus mile-an-hour wind gusts and over a quarter-size hail in parts of Hamilton County. So I've just gotten back in off the roadways, too, and this would be a situation where if you're on the road and don't have to be to get somewhere that you can be a little bit safer. So we've obviously had a lot of folks out on the roads picking up kids at school, and hopefully that's been able to wind down. That traffic's been able to wind down, but we would certainly recommend that if you don't have to be out on the roadways right now, that you get home or get back to work or get somewhere safe.
Again, join us by phone is Adam Lewis, Public Information Officer for the Cleveland Bradley County EMA, telling us about the meeting that just transpired. It took place a little bit ago. And so, Adam, you're saying the storm shelters are open now. The storm-ready shelters are going to be open in a few minutes for the next few hours or however long it needs to be. And as far as the storms that you're talking about, I know that you were in a meeting with a few other folks. Has anybody reported any damage away from our area in other areas that this storm's maybe already affected? Has anybody commented on any of that?
No, there's not been. These storms actually have started to strengthen just a bit as they've gotten closer to our area. They were pretty strong in Middle Tennessee, near Murfreesboro, McMinnville as well. But normally we see these types of storms tend to dissipate a little bit, but they seem to be holding their strength. Fortunately, we've not been made aware of any tornado warnings that were issued. Of course, we still are under a tornado watch that has not expired and won't for quite some time. But there have been no reports of any damaging winds from potential tornadoes. No warnings that we've been aware of either. So that is good. That was one of the concerns and one of the areas and categories of threat that actually ticked up overnight and early this morning was the threat of an isolated tornado. And so at this point, it appears that that's not been the case, and we're grateful for that. But there are several reports of damaging winds and hail that still need to be considered and taken seriously.
All right. Again, Adam Lewis joins us via phone. Adam, how long do we anticipate? Is there any way to say that hourly wise, are we thinking by 5, 6 o'clock that for the most part that the storm should be out of here, or was there any conversation about that?
This initial round of storms or line, if you're looking at the radar, should pass through Bradley County within the next hour. We are, of course, watching the subsequent storms behind that, so we're not out of the woods yet. There's a line further back into parts of Mississippi and northern Alabama, and also into southern Middle Tennessee that is growing and will likely still hold together by the time it makes it to our area, but that won't be for several more hours after this initial round moves through.
All right, Adam Lewis, we appreciate you. Adam Lewis, again, the Public Information Officer for the Cleveland-Bradley County EMA. The airways are always yours, Adam. If you need to get on and tell us anything, we'll be right here, and we'll be waiting for you to give us that call again.
I appreciate it, and I'll be back in touch if anything changes.
All right, thanks so much. All right, so Adam Lewis, Public Information Officer, once again with the EMA here locally for Cleveland and Bradley County. And so it sounds like that some areas have already been reporting some damaging wind, a little bit of hail and those type things going on. But Austin, we kind of zoomed out as he was talking about that second band of storms. We were so concentrated on just watching what was coming through right then that there is a pretty significant second wave that does look like it's probably several hours away.
There is, and you know, most of that is being fueled by the there's a little bit of breaking weather there, so the sun comes out and it kind of refuels those for the next line to come through. So it looks like there's some more stuff kind of generating there in the Alabama area. Now there's some storms in the Ooltewah, Chattanooga area that's coming up from the south, that's coming towards Cleveland now, and that's what Adam Lewis was just talking about, right there in the Fort Oglethorpe and the Chattanooga area. That's pretty stout, and showing a lot of wind shear, as Allison Pryor calls it on Facebook, and so just a lot of winds in that. So that's coming towards the Cleveland area, and then up around Athens. Athens is getting a pretty good storm right now themselves. So I would expect probably some more power outages around that area in the next little bit. We can check and kind of see what that looks like. But there around Fort Oglethorpe, even down in the Scottsboro area, which I know that's a little bit more south, but those storms are kind of moving south, southeast, kind of coming up north a little bit. So they will, and there's actually a few cells that are kind of fueling up right in front of them. So those few cells are pretty stout, have some heavy rain with them, and as it moves into the area, hopefully everybody who the roads are kind of lessened a little bit more than they were earlier, because I know that rain will definitely slow everyone down.
Ryan Felton with us again. Ryan, what do you have this afternoon?
So we do have our first Cleveland Utilities reported power outage.
Okay.
Just over, I think, 3,000 folks. It's sort of in the Dockery Lane, I guess that'd be Blue Springs Road, up even to Blythe Avenue, Blackburn, over to Ellis Drive, sort of south of Arnell Lane. That sort of southern side of Bradley County area does have about 3,000 out.
All right,
as of right now.
Cleveland Utilities reporting about 3,000 people without power right now, and you reported earlier Volunteer Electric for Ray County and some of those other outlying communities was reporting outages. We're getting reports from the Ooltewah area that here it comes, it's better hunker down, is from one of our engineers that takes care of us here at WCLE. So that is kind of what we're looking at, folks. Again, we can give kudos to our school systems. I mean, think about this, guys. About 5 or 10 minutes from now till 3:30ish, 4 o'clock would have been when school for Bradley County students would have been getting out. Parents would have been picking up kids. Buses would have been on the roadways. And definitely, I don't care. It only takes one, folks. It only takes one accident. Only takes one bus sliding off the road where the road was softer on the edge because of a quick downpour. Only takes one car that was picking up 4 kids from a school that was going home that rear-ended someone because of the torrential rain at that particular second. Doesn't have to be the magnitude of hail or 60-mile-an-hour wind. It's just the safety in general. And kudos to our school systems for looking at this and saying, look, we need to get out in front of this. We need to get kids home, get parents home, get teachers home. in a safe manner. And think about this: all the SROs and stuff that are now working at the places where they can be able to get the ready rooms going. Which the ready rooms is a place you can go get shelter. Austin, you mentioned it earlier. If it's someone that lives maybe in a structure that you just don't feel is safe, that when it gets up to 60, 70 mile an hour wind, you feel like, this is just not the safest place for me and my family to be. So these ready rooms, these storm shelter rooms have been activated. Adam Lewis told us that and said they'll be staying until this is past us. And I've got the list here. I'll go ahead and read those very quickly. Menace Road is going to be Station 11 at 365 Menace Road. That is one of those ready rooms if you need to find shelter there. Dalton Pike Fire Station 12 at 2015 New Street there in that Dalton Pike area. I think it's closer to Waterville School, if I'm not mistaken. And then we've got Georgetown Road, Fire Station 13. That's in the Hopewell community. That's going to be at 5345 Georgetown Road, and then Walker Valley High School at 750 Lauderdale Memorial Highway. So these storm ready rooms are open. If you need something, we're getting another alert right now, so we'll back off for just a moment on the radio side of things.
Yes, we're still live on Mixed TV, but currently on the radio, there's the National Weather Service is it's looking around that 2:30 time slot. So I would say this is probably a refresh from earlier, from the one that expired around 2:30.
Yeah, it sounds like that information definitely is coming through, and it looks like it has been extended for the people on Mixed TV to about 2:50.
Yes,
is what it looks like for Bradley, Monroe, McMinn, Polk, beginning now to about 2:50. So that has been extended, and that's probably because of what you were saying there just a few minutes ago, Austin, about what was coming through.
Yes, yeah. So, Channel 3 posted a few minutes ago that they were seeing 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts, hail, and very heavy rain in the metro Chattanooga area. That was probably about 10 minutes ago, and so that storm is now moving north into Cleveland, northeast. And so this is going to be the severe thunderstorm warning for that, to be able to kind of extend that area. So if you're, like we keep saying, if you're out moving around, now is probably not the time to be driving across town. So.
Yeah, we just have some little small decorative bushes outside the studio window, and I can just see them flapping back and forth. A little bit of rain out there, leaves blowing all across the parking lot from underneath those trees and things like that. So we are starting to see some of these things that we've been talking about. So again, this is just a time to think about your safety plan. If and when this is ever going to be needed, and just to make sure that you're just ready. And again, those storm ready rooms are open now for you if you feel you should go to one of those. And this storm that we're looking at, Austin, it definitely is in severity. There's a lot going on with it. But the good thing about it, it seems like as far as the width of the storm, the swath, if you will,
yes,
seems to be thinning as it's getting closer to us.
Yeah, so as our radio audience joins us back again after that alert, it looks like it's gonna be a tough punch, as we said earlier, but it's not going to last a whole lot long. There is Adam Lewis told us earlier that there's another set of storms coming in behind it, but with this set of storms, there's a lot of lightning, and of course the wind has picked up out there. You can kind of see some rain kind of blowing sideways at this point, right outside the station. So right now is kind of what we've been looking for. And like you said earlier, I mean, really, we got to commend our school systems. We definitely wouldn't want our kids out trying to get home at this point in time. Just makes it so much more challenging, and it's such a more opportunity for something to go wrong.
Right.
So.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, it just takes one accident. It just takes one bus getting in a swoof of wind, or someone that's just in a vehicle accident. So, you always want to limit those possibilities, those unnecessary things that's going on there. So, again, kudos to our school directors. I know it's a little bit of stress on parents that were working, trying to figure out how they're going to get the kids picked up at that timely manner. But hopefully that's behind us now. Rain is falling pretty heavily on Mouse Creek Road here right outside the Kia of Cleveland studios. As I am looking now, I'm going to get some images of traffic that's going to be around that Ooltewah exit. Let's see here if I can get something to pull up. And let's see here. Well, says it was, but then it backed out on me there. So we'll see if we get an image from the Ooltewah area, because that's a place that seems to be a place where it always seems to start. And it seems like these storms always seem to follow the 75 corridor.
You know, my TDOT cameras are not working either, so maybe the TDOT system's just having some troubles right now.
It could be.
So we got a couple different areas there. But yes, just as it moves across White Oak Mountain, it moves really across I-75 as it's coming in the area. That line of storms that they just issued the severe thunderstorm warning until 2:45 for that southwestern Bradley County area. It actually includes Marion County and Hamilton County. So it's still moving out of Hamilton County. So if it's not quite time, that 3 o'clock rush hour traffic's not quite there. But if you're coming from Chattanooga right now, you're definitely experiencing it as you come into Bradley County.
Yeah, we're looking. Allison Pryor back live on Local 3. We're keeping an eye on her to see if she brings us any up to the second type updates. She's just talking about the 75 corridor, as we just did, talking about from Athens to Cleveland, down to Ooltewah, down to Dalton. It just seems to be that slough is right now the biggest part of what is going on. So that is something that we're keeping an eye on right now.
Yes, so I was trying to pull up Allison Pryor over there, but she's really pointing that out. She's showing actually there's several different severe thunderstorm warnings issued, not just for our area, but north of us. It kind of extends towards Athens and then to the west of us there around Soddy Daisy, and definitely Chattanooga. Chattanooga's just took a really good punch just now from the storms it's moving through. There's plenty of lightning with it, but there again, it's not going to last very long. It's just strong for a little bit.
Yeah, it seems like if we can get through, and I'm just guessing, unless some of those from the south move their way up there, I would think just within a little bit of time here, maybe less than an hour.
Yes,
that will be through the bulk of this until we get through the next one. But it is already starting to lighten up a little bit after we've had that big burst of rain come through our area. But again, there's just so many things going on radar-wise, not only in Cleveland but in Bradley County. Now they're showing the hail pattern that's in the Chattanooga area right now. It looks like downtown Chattanooga, maybe close to that East Ridge area, has gotten some hail, and even looked like down in South Cleveland, according to this, there's a little bit of hail as well.
Yes, so there's been reports of that. In Chattanooga, Channel 3 was reporting earlier quarter-inch or quarter-size hail that was taking place down there. So that should be moving across. Hopefully it won't be a large batch of that, but there's been a few that has been reported down there to go along with the strong rains.
All right, but we'll continue to keep an eye on things. I think what we'll do here, let's take about 5 minutes. We're going to reset. We're going to try to gather some new information, maybe things that we haven't been able to get a hold of yet, and then we will come back and give you an update. Again, rain has started to fall in the Bradley County area. What we're seeing right now, there's about 3,000 people without power in the Cleveland area, 5,500 in Dayton, about 100 in Chattanooga, 700 in Dunlap. Those are the reports that we are seeing right now for this area. So here in Cleveland and Bradley County, when I say Cleveland, Bradley County, the surrounding area, our whole community as a whole is showing about 3,000 people. Dalton, about 500 people. And Dayton, the most that we see out of our listening area at about 5,500 being reported without power at this particular moment. Again, we'll take a reset right here. We'll come back with more in just a moment. You're tuned in to Mix 104.1 WCLE. This is severe weather coverage. It is presented by our friends at Insurance Incorporated, as we're live on the radio and MixTV.tv. Also want to mention our friends at McKay Southern, as we just talked to you about power outages and what's going on there. McKay Southern, never lose power again. Luke Dalton with McKay Southern says they can get you a Generac home system that will allow you to never lose power again. After the power goes off within 15 seconds, your power will be fully back on in your home. They can do that with a Generac system starting at about $160 a month. For more details, go to McKaySouthern.com. That's MCCAY Southern.com, or call them at 506-3166. McKay Southern, never lose power again. Back with more And, well, I tell you what, we're going to stay right here because, Austin, you just pulled up a very interesting graphic on Mixed TV.
Not to throw you off there. I know you're fixing to give us a little bit of break, and we probably do need it for a second. But the Ooltewah area, there's a lot of rains there. And actually, the couple of cameras right before that, looks like the cameras have been either tilted down or looks like something's happened. Maybe the wind got to them or maybe they're just adjusting around. But that Ooltewah camera, I mean, you could barely see headlights there. So that's just showing how strong it is right now and just how hard it would be to see that traffic has hopefully being safe has slowed down a little bit for a few minutes, but there's definitely a lot of winds there. You can see it shaking the camera. So that's 11-mile marker.
Yeah, exit 11, which is going to be that Ooltewah exit. Glad you were able to pull that up for the Mixed TV audience as well before we got off. But yes, you just see this little dots off in the distance there. It's so dark. I mean, it's almost like a midnight look there as far as the darkness. Okay, we're going to take a break. We'll come back with more in just a moment. Stay with us on Mix 104.1 on the radio, and we'll take a break on mixtv.tv as well.
Broadcasting from the Kia of